Okay, we're back in CPM, and as you can see, we have a 302 Mustang. And the things have moved. I've moved things around. Don't worry about it. Anything that's here, that's missing, that you have seen before, that you're concerned about, that might have disappeared, you can comment about, and I'll tell you whether or not it's actually gone, but I don't think we've gotten rid of anything. I'm pretty sure we still have everything, just moved onto the other account. For instance, our F82 M4 that used to be where that Kia Stinger is sitting, we did not sell that, we did not trade that, we didn't get rid of it, we very much still have it, it's fine, it's on our other account. I just moved some cars around, that way I could have in what I wanted to use and have in. So like we have the Tesla back out. I don't remember what I put away to bring that out, but the FD almost got put away. The only reason it didn't is because it is going to get a state patrol design and police lights. The Impreza is a fresh tune. We got the 850 back out. As you can see, we put the Falcon away, which is funny because, like, we drove it once and I don't even think we were recording at the time that we drove it. So, yeah, you guys probably just remember the Falcon taking up a slot for a little moment. The Impala is still here. The Focus is still here. The Viper is still here. The NSX is over here. The Escalade, I know I'm way late and behind on that. We'll get it done tonight. Today, later, sometime. Tonight. I'll do that tonight. It'll be my workload for the night. That'll be my project. So this Mustang here is a fresh build, and it is class U. Sometimes when I go into race modes, it'll say it's class S, and this thing is like either bulletproof or close to bulletproof. I'm still finding out. But when it does that, I just come here, I do the dyno, I let it run all the way up to Class U, and then when I go back in, it tells me that it is Class U, and there's no problem. Okay, and we're going to run our second Le Mans, because we already ran our first. And the point of this is just to simply show you that you can build a street-tuned classic muscle car, something that very much is not designed to be a track car. It's meant to be a street cruiser type vehicle, and a classic American muscle car. It was not designed for track racing against supercars.
Race start. Keep it clean.
I want to make sure that we're starting with a fresh set of tires. I don't care if they're at 99. We're replacing the ones that are there. Oh, my bad.
Pit complete. Settle back in.
Yep, just taking my sweet time. You saw our power numbers, we're not overly high. We're not even making 600 horsepower. I'm not going to take the cut. I could, but I'm not going to. happen here. Get it together, boys. Let's go. Might want to calm down. See, with races like this, you don't have to worry about being the fastest and getting in front of them right away, because the race will go on until that timer hits 0, and then once that timer hits 0, whoever is in first when they cross the line of that lap that they are on wins. Doesn't matter how many laps ahead they may be. Whatever lap they're on, when that timer hits 0, if they are in first place, they get the win. So, even if they cross the line 2 seconds before the timer expires, they have to run out that entire full lap. But it just gives that person an extra lap of distance. If you can time it so that you cross the line just before the timer expires, you're just getting an extra lap of more gap of distance on everybody else. Really tight formations. So really kind of them, right? Oh, I don't trust you at all. So you don't need a fancy supercar with 1,000 horsepower and 4-wheel drive and this and that. You don't need jack shit. You just need to know when to hold back and when to feed into it. Have a little bit of skill. And even when you have skill, yeah, sometimes they can just straight take you out. They did it to me. But you know what? If you're good enough, you won't let that stop you. Now, if it just ends up happening to you repeatedly, at that point there's nothing you can do. Right? It doesn't matter how good you are if it happens to you 50 times over. You know? But the chances of it happening to you 50 times over consistently, pretty low. Give it a restart. Give them space, let them do their thing at first, and try to find a spot to overtake. Once you've overtaken, get a bit of distance. Now that you've gotten a bit of distance, like we have, you actually want to take a quick stop at the pits. Just for the reason of, we don't have to drive nearly as aggressive as we were. So it's best that we just grab our fresh set of tires, get back out in front of them, and we should be able to run these tires for the rest of the run.
Good stop. Get back to pace.
So now you can ease up, you don't have to be going full out, you're not trying to chase anybody down. Of course you don't want to lose distance either, so you keep a nice, steady rhythm. But you don't need to be pushing your car. On the straightaway, I understand. That's fine. It's a straightaway, it's not that bad. It's when you're pushing your car in the corners where you start burning through the majority of your tire. We're about 10 seconds slower for that lap than our best lap, which is fine. You don't need to be running your best lap every lap. It's an endurance race. It's 14 minutes on the clock. We're in first place. We don't need to be... And if you notice, we're still gaining distance on them. We don't need to be concerned about having to set good lap times. What we need to worry about is being able to stay out in first, keep the steady rhythm of staying in first, and make it to the finish line. That's what matters. That's what's going to win us the race. I can set the fastest lap time in the world, and it doesn't mean jack shit if I spin out and can't make it to the finish. And the thing is, once you have one collision, you're more than likely to have another collision. Because if your vehicle is at the point where you're struggling to control it, well then, you're most likely going to crash if you've already reached the point where you've crashed it once. So, then you have to baby the car. And then, in situations where your opponents are catching up, it can be quite stressful. And if your opponents do catch up, then you're in the mess of trying to baby your car and hold your position. And it's not a good combination, especially as the timer gets closer to the end. That's why you just hold a nice steady rhythm and everything will be just fine. We're on a touring tire as well. Nothing special. We're on a 285 in the front and a 295 in the rear. So we're still on a small tire setup. We're just on the larger side of the small tire setup. It's always nice when you catch back up to them and lap them, and then lap them again. They're often more spaced out, and you often get better head-to-head power. Little touch of the grass almost spun us. I will show you guys my motor and my tire and brake setup. It is up to you to tune your suspension and transmission to how you see fit. I do not hand out my tunes to just anyone. Friends or acquaintances, I hardly don't even hand out tunes to them. Friends, I normally just give them the car. Yeah, it's easier. I could send them the tune on Discord and they could build one of their own, but I could just give them mine. Well, if they want the tune, I always make my shit look nice. I always make my shit drive nice, so drive mine. Sometimes my friends will provide me with a specific car to tune for them, and under those circumstances, I think I still do a wonderful job. But they provide the vehicle they want, and I put the tune they want on it. Give it back to them. And the best part is, most of the time they don't even specify, like, what they want. Like, when it gets sent to me, it's like, okay, I have freedom of what gets done to it, basically. They tell me the basis what they want it to do, I make it do that, and I make it look nice while it does it. That's the job of a tuner. It's pretty simple, it's pretty cut and dry. Just not many people are good at it. But I am. So that's why I make tunes for all of my friends, and that's why my friends bring their vehicles to me and get their things tuned by me. Chucky has a Carrera GT that he would like for me to tune, but we just haven't gotten to that. I should mention that the next time I see him. He should go into a multiplayer server after we beat these guys and see if he's online. He might be. You never know. He's not too fond of checking his Discord messages, so you never really know. You more so just have to see if he's online. And if he's not online, sometimes you can just chill and wait in the server, and sometimes he ends up popping online and joining up, and sometimes he doesn't. It's just that. Why are you brake checking me? You don't need to go that slow though, bitch. That is a 130. That is a 130 minimum. Like, you were on... God damn it. You are on such better tires for traction than me. You can take that way faster than I can. Even with tire wear, 130 shouldn't be a problem for a slick tire on that. Again, we're on a touring tire. We normally run semi-slick, but we have all kinds of cars that run semi-slicks, and would you be running semi-slicks on a 1969 Mustang 302? Possibly. You're right. It's not impossible. It's very much something that someone might do, some people might have. So, maybe. Okay, but more commonly than not, you would see your average street touring tire, or what it came with factory type tire. You would see a street-based tire most often. Even worn touring, and I'm taking that point pretty close to 130. If I downshifted, I could have taken it smoother too. But I didn't need to. We've got power in third. Not the most power, but not necessarily lacking in power either, so... perfect for what I'm doing, which is just holding position and keeping a nice rhythm. See, we've got power. Sure, a second would give us more power getting up to about 170. But, am I really trying to get the best power down from 100 to 170 right now? No. I could care less. We're staying smooth and steady in third gear, and it's reacting nicely, so why change it up? Just for a bit of extra fun? What if that extra fun ends up costing you the race? You know? Time for play and time for business type thing. I think we've got 2 laps left. No. Yes. Most likely. Well, we've got 2 laps on him. I don't have to worry about staying on it or anything. Yeah, see, you could take that at 130 easily. 137 was it that we were rounding that corner at? Like, that one guy was going absurdly slow for that. I was not expecting it. I should have just kept my line going around. There you go. There's a good example of why you should always keep your line generally pointed with a trajectory that will avoid other vehicles if you do not know the driver in front of you. You always want an escape. Because if you don't have one and they end up going extremely slow or brake checking or whatever, you have an exit that is not just ramming into the absolute piss of their entire back of their vehicle. But yeah, it's always best to keep your line trajectory aimed away from the vehicle in front of you, away from all vehicles in front of you, all other objects. You want a safe line, essentially. You just want to have a safe exit that way you're not trapped in a situation where you're rear-ending somebody or hitting something. And because we didn't have one, we have shattered windows now. But that was my fault. Because these are AI, they are unpredictable, you do not know when they're going to change their pace, or to what degree. Even if you're running with a friend, if you're not fully synced up with your friend, so like if you don't know how your friend drives really well, you can have instances like that where your friend does a movement that catches you off guard. And if you're not prepared for it, it can result in an accident sometimes. It depends on the circumstances. But it's very easy for an accident to occur just by things like not having your trajectory set to have a safe escape. Not escape a safe. I don't know what escape a safe is, but I thought it was a word for a second, I guess. I won't be surprised if one of my friends nags at me and is like, let's escape a safe. I wouldn't be bothered by it either. I would find it comical because, yeah, what is escape a safe? Come on. God damn it. Why does my brain have to not brain? What is it? My mind don't brain, but somehow my brain don't mind?
Solid drive. Well executed.
So, and that right there shows you a perfect example of how you can do the daily Le Mans easily without having something absurdly high horsepower, without having to stop and hit the pits every few laps because you're burning through insane amount of your tires. And yeah, look at that. 93. Oh, 91, 92, 93, 94. Look at that. That is some pretty even wear. And a very interesting wear pattern. It makes sense that it makes sense that the left side has the most wear because it's a clockwise circuit. So we're constantly turning right more than turning left. And out of the lefts, the rights are harder. And I think there is more of them. Yes, there is, because it's a clockwise circuit. There has to be more rights than lefts for the circuit to connect if it's going clockwise. Just like in NASCAR, the circuit has to be constantly going left in order. It's a counterclockwise circuit. You constantly have to have left bend and more left bend than right bend, which there is no right bend in NASCAR. I mean, unless you run the track backwards, but I don't recommend doing that. You know, people don't seem to like it when you run the track backwards. I recommend running the track forwards. It's just for the best. It's the way the track was meant to be run. It needs an oil change, but I don't mind. Pretty good fuel consumption. Aha! So it's not bulletproof. It's just very close to. So my fuel rail and air filter, like usual, take a little bit of damage here and there. That's not bad, running for basically half an hour. Well, I did the one Le Mans before this in this, and it took 3 attempts before I could even get them stopped. So I drove it for about 5 minutes. So yeah, I've been running the car for about half an hour, and it took 1% over about a rough half an hour of driving. 1% on the air filter and fuel rail. That's not bad at all. 2% an hour? That's not bad at all, if you ask me. When you compare it to most people's engines that blow up every few runs, that's not bad at all. I mean, imagine running the Nürburgring for 3 hours, going back to your shop, and you only have to replace literally your fuel rail, which costs you 9K, and your air filter, which costs you 2K. And you don't even realistically have to change them. They would still be above 90% when you think about that, because that would only come to 6% wear at the rate we just calculated. So you would most definitely still be above 90% with if you were to run this exact tune, which will open up everything so you can see what I have. If you're wanting to build this engine yourself, it's just a simple 5-liter Coyote V8. Nothing special to it. I just set it up this way. I'm running 98, as you might have seen. I keep my air to fuel ratio set there. I'm running 7,700 RPM, 7,000 idle. Your idle and launch is entirely however you want to do that. Those are my power stats. I am a 4-speed manual. I am running a Torsen diff. I have my diff set to 17% locking. I don't mind sharing that info with you. My diffs I keep set between 17, 15, and 22. And 20. I'll either run 15. The only time I'll run 15 is if I'm having a locking diff in the front. And then I'll run 15. In the rear, I run 17 to 22. If I want an aggressive locking, I'll run a 20. If I want a really more aggressive locking, then I'll run a 22. But 17 is all you need. And it's often better for these older cars to run a lightly more open diff compared to a more locking diff. Visual tuning. My brakes. These are my brakes. Fronts are 35 piston width, and my rear are 33 piston width, 1 piston each. My disc size is 333 all around. I run that on essentially everything. 333 for my brake disc size, because it's more legit. Tires. We're on 285 touring in the front and 295 touring in the rear. Now mine's a 4-speed manual. You can put whatever transmission you want into this and run. You could put a 10-speed in this if you want to. You can... I do have the stage 1 clutch. I do recommend the stage 1 clutch if you're running this motor setup. If you're running my motor tune with this power amount, you'll want the stage 1 clutch, because the factory clutch will likely slip, and that will just burn the clutch. Just put in the stage 1, and you'll never have to replace your clutch ever again. So I recommend, if you're running this exact engine power setup, to run the stage 1 clutch. But you can put in, and everything's rear-wheel drive for this vehicle. If I take rear-wheel drive out of the options, nothing comes up. So, you can run whatever you want to run in it, but I'm running a 4-speed manual because that's what it would have in real world. I'm running a Coyote V8 because it's as close as I can get to the 302. But it's a nice, simple build. Very simple. I hand painted the car, did the carbon fiber hood, did the spoiler in the black plastic type color that they would have had. I don't think I'll do any other extra paint work to it, because it looks fine the way it is, if you ask me. I don't even know what that color is. I still haven't figured that out because I don't care about it. Don't care enough to know. Don't care enough to want to know. What happened to the Mustang just now? Did you... It literally... I don't think that other guy hit him. I just saw him just bounce underground randomly. What? The devil came and drove his ass to hell, I guess. Drug. My bad. I don't know why everybody does a traditional, like, I should have bought in that Durango. Fuck. That would have been a nice extra to have. It would have been a nice extra police unit, but at the same time, I have so much other shit I need to work on, I shouldn't be buying more police units until I get the ones I have that I need to work on better. 1,500 kgs flat. Damn. Damn. Nobody gives a fuck about this intersection. No visible damages. For curiosity set. It is a classic muscle car. It should handle back roads just fine, right? Why is the lag so terrible? It's not this bad in single-player servers, but, like, nobody is out here in the desert. We shouldn't be having this much lag. Come on. It's so bad. The car is good, though. It handles the dirt pretty decently. Hey! Look at that. Where's he driving? The RX-7. Okay. Some nice downshifts. God, that fucked up everything. Oh, it's still getting fucked up. Jesus Christ. Okay. This shit needs to chill. He's probably gonna come to me. Oh my god, it's so terribly bad. What? Hey, look at that, they complimented my car. For anybody who didn't get that, it said car is clean. I know I'm terrible at jokes, but it's a nice compliment, eh? Hey man, you have a clean car. Thank you. No, I meant it's visibly clean. There's no dirt on it. It's actually just not a good looking car at all. I was just telling you that it's clean. I normally don't park here, but we're going to this time. No! I might need to refine the carbon to a finer grain. If I can. Can I? Do you think? Maybe? We'll have to see. Nice Mustang 302. And this is its crank stats, this is why I recommend running the stage 1 clutch if you're running this. Look how high that torque is. Pretty sure the factory clutch is either 750 or 8. So it's a bit close to the limit for what that clutch could handle. But the stage 1 is 960, which is like a perfect 150 wiggle room. Like it's a nice clutch for this tune. I'm running a 4-speed and I don't have any problems. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, manipulating the clutch with longer gears is often more difficult because the longer your gearing range is, the more rotational weight you have, the harder your engine has to work to turn that rotational weight. Which means even though I'm making good torque, I'm not necessarily able to put it down very well in the lower ends. So having a clutch that's able to slip but still bites nicely and doesn't wear is extremely beneficial to something like a 4-speed setup with long gearing like this. Whereas a stiff clutch can be run in something like a 10-speed, 9-speed, 8-speed DCT. And sure, those won't have any issues, but those are automatic. Bit tight, huh? Alright, let's see how he drives this. I didn't specifically tweak it out to run on pavement or dirt. That's why it's on a touring tire. If it were specifically tweaked to run on the pavement only, it would be on a semi-slick. But I also don't do off-road tires unless I'm doing a really off-road oriented truck build. So it's the Mustang nature is showing with Chucky behind the wheel. I mean, you could kind of see it wanting to kick out now and again. Even with me driving it, there was many moments where it's just like Mustang nature, turn and hit the wall. So Damn, she got some suspension flex. But did you try to drop in second? What was that? I feel like even second would have probably given a bit more spin. Was that third? Maybe it was second. I don't. There's no way that was first. First will do donuts all day. Ooh, bit slippery. It's got that torque. It's got good power too, but the torque on it is so very good. Has good kick with the torque. Yo. Yo, what? uh. With the gas and brake. Sometimes the steering wheel. That's great. This one's easier to drive than the other one. The other one's a 5-speed with more power. The other one's a 5-speed supercharged V10 with 10,000 RPM. Like, it's not that bad. Too fast. You needed to start braking like, I see the line on the road just before the crosswalk. That's almost like a little gutter drainage. And that you need to start braking just before that line by about a car length. Or at least you should. varies from vehicle to vehicle and from speed to speed. But that's generally a safe braking point area. I get the feeling that he's going for it. Touch. Who touched you? You had a little touch. I think I threw him off with that comment. Just no context at all. You had a little touch? Little touch of what? From who? He's probably gonna watch this video and be like, fuck you. I wouldn't blame him. Oh, that's great. I love taking things out of context like that. What was that? Just biffed it into the rock. Oh, he's about to biff it into the other rocks. It's funny, I gave him like a 500 or 600 horsepower Camaro and he drives that just fine, but you put him behind the wheel of a Mustang. Both Mustangs that he's driven, he has struggled. No. I drive it just fine. Oh no, just this one. The funny thing is, this one should be easier to drive than the other one. It's less power. It's smoother and softer. For street performance, it's smoother and softer. I shouldn't say softer, because the travel on the 65 is really, really insane. What happened there? It sounds like a lot of things. I've lost my touch. It's the car. It's my phone. It's the tires. It's it's this road. It's the gravity of the earth. I'm sorry, I feel like a dick for saying that one. Oh, that's great. Wee. You spin me right now, baby, right now, yeah. Bro, you drive an E46 real world? How? You need to go get some drifting lessons in, my friend. Then you might have a better time controlling my high power rear wheel drives. I mean, this isn't even that high of power. It's only 546 horsepower. It's also 724 foot-pounds torque. That's crank numbers, though. It's still high power. But it's not that bad. I mean, y'all saw how we drove it in Le Mans. Even as we got our tires slowly worn down to just over 90%, we were still rocking just fine. And I replaced the tires before he hopped in. That way, he would have a full set of tires. He stalled. But it has 700 newton meters of torque. It builds like what was the dynograph reading? I sent pictures to Perk on Discord. Let me check. I can pull it up right now. Actually, it builds. It builds about 500 foot-pounds of torque at 2,000 RPM to the tire. Not this car. Anything but this car locks him in. Sorry, anything but my Mustangs. I have 5 of them. Two of them are rally builds. One of them is a high power rally build. The other's a low power rally build. The high power rally build is the V10 supercharged, and the low power rally build is a EcoBoost turbocharged. And then we have this. And then we have the 2024. And then we have 2 2024s. We have the original GT3 2024 event version. I'm the original owner of that one. I drive those too. I did the how to make money in gold video demonstrating the Le Mans in the Senna. Mine's a police car. He knows this. He's driven it. He better have. He's seen it many times. He's had more than enough opportunity. If he hasn't, I don't know why. I'm pretty sure he has, though. I'm pretty sure he's driven all of my McLarens. He knows I have shit like that. I'm the one who tuned his Bugatti. He knows I have stuff like that. You can't use that as an excuse. I drive that type of stuff too. Max Verstappen? That guy? I can't spell his first name. I swear to God, if he's talking about Max Verstappen, that's funny. Can't spell Max. Oh no, that guy. Okay. I'm not familiar with Senna very much. What does Formula One have to do with what we're doing right now, though? You drive street cars all the time. What? I'm so confused. Where is this going? I'm like, where is this leading to? I'm so lost. What do you mean? What? Is he on another planet right now, or am I? I can't tell. No, the F1 driver, I can't spell his first name. It's Anton Senna or something like that. And I go, yes. And he's, what do you mean, yes? What do you mean, what do you mean? Where were you trying to take that? What was I supposed to, yes, I know him, or what? I I've heard the I'm pretty sure I've heard the name around in motorsport. So either way, you're talking about an F1 driver. Okay, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that's part of the problem. But okay. So you never lock in then. That would be so mean. F1 isn't all it's cracked up to be, is all I'll say about that. Okay. If you insist. Make sure any damages get repaired. Grab a new set of tires. The lag is so bad. lift, brake. Okay, well, I brake way early. But better to brake early and be cautious than to brake late and die. Yes? Can we all agree on that? Yes? I think we can all agree that it's better to brake early and be cautious and not die than it is to brake late and die. Ooh, spin. First slip. That's okay. It was a bit tight on our entrance there. So we had to back off, which caused us to go a little wide, but no harm, no foul. Well, not true. No harm, but there was a foul. Had a bit of troubles getting into third there. No death. All because of the bump when it landed. Nothing you can do about it, it just is the way it is. These physics are not meant for drifting, so the second you go into a slide with a rear-wheel drive, I'm just running the circuit that I taught to you and Perk first. Well, I don't know if I taught this one to Perk, but I taught this circuit to Chucky, so... Okay, take two. The second it goes into a slide, it just wants to overcook. Tires are probably pretty worn by this point. It's interesting because with CPM, tire wear is not realistic. The rate in which your tires wear down isn't too legit, but it's not the rate, it's the traction level that drops with the rate. 1% drops traction by more than it should. By the time you get to 90%, you're starting to feel like your tires are really slippery. 80%, you're basically feeling like you're running on bald tire. And anything lesser feels like your tires have been buttered for drifting. Like, literally, like you went to the store, you bought 20 pounds of butter, and you were just like, yeah, put 5 pounds of butter on each tire, and handed the block to a 12-year-old, and we're just like, rub this butter on the tires of my car. And they were like, okay. And their parents come along, what are you doing to that man's car? He told us to butter his tires. What? Can you imagine? Sorry, I got distracted. Thinking about buttering your tires is a pretty distracting type of thought. That's hilarious. I honestly hope somebody goes out and tries buttering their tires. Tell me how that goes. Just note that I do not condone doing this in real life legally. But illegally, I can't stop you, so do what you want. If you want to butter your tires, that is your decision to make. But I am curious how that's going to play out. So what did we have? 2 spins and 1 cactus scenario. But that cactus was, like, on steroids, okay? I mean, we'll let YouTube decide that. The viewers can decide. That's for the people to say. I can't comment personally. Well, I can, I'm just not going to. I'm sorry? Did y'all see a floating RX-7 too? Or am I hallucinating? Must have gotten lonely and wanted to go for a stroll. You should really put a leash on that, or get your car under control, sir. can't just let your car roll the streets freely. Cars don't walk, they roll. You can't just let your car roll the streets freely, sir. What I'm calling vehicle control. Because that's what you do. They're the vehicle police. Kind of like animal control. Everyone just gets beaten and abused. And when their car gets returned to them, it's just a pile of heap. It's just scrap metal, basically. They put it in a crusher, turn it into a cube, and give it back to you like a cube. And this is your car, sir. Oh no, I stalled. But I also parked nicely, so I would have just turned off my engine right here anyway, so no problemo. Nice 302 Mustang. Gets down, moves, handles well. Can be a bit slippery if you're too heavy on the accelerator, but you just be a bit gentle with it. It wasn't made to run in the dirt. It wasn't made to be a togue cornering car. It's a 1969 Mustang, supercharged. It's rear-wheel drive. It's on a touring tire. You know, it's not made to put down the accelerator and have traction like your modern day car would. It's a old chassis. This car is over 50 years old. It's soft. It's got power. It's got torque. Really good torque. It's long gear. So one of the things with long gears is once a long gear vehicle starts spinning, once it gains wheel speed, it's hard to kill that momentum. With a short geared vehicle, the momentum doesn't go as high. So it's much easier to keep a car with shorter gear ratios under control. So things like 3-speed, 4-speed, and even some 5-speeds have much more difficulty controlling a slide when it slips out unnaturally, or not unnaturally, but unsuspectingly slips out from underneath you. A 3-speed to a 5-speed, or a 2-speed or 1-speed even, they are out there. Trust me, they are. Those all have a harder time controlling the wheel speed because it's in much a larger range within RPM. So it can be more difficult to control slides in longer geared vehicles for that main reason, that the wheel speed varies on a much larger scale than a short geared one. And it goes to a much higher wheel speed, in which naturally the higher the wheel speed goes up, the more time it takes for it to come down, even with application of the brakes. It's just simple physics. It will always take more to stop a wheel at 200 kilometers an hour than when it's spinning at 150. Doesn't matter what circumstances there is. It will always take more. That's just physics. We should all be able to understand that base philosophy. So, when you account for all of the factors of what the car is, it was not made for you to be getting on the accelerator and pushing it to its limits and trying to corner quick in it. It was, well, when the car was made in '69, it was built to be a fun American muscle car. It was basically built to be a toy. Back then, that's what you would have referred to it as. It was a toy. But I'm not surprised. Isn't isn't your phone always dying? But yeah, no, it was built to be a fun American muscle car that I can cruise with, take anywhere. It's not built to be the best at any one specific thing. It's just meant to be something enjoyable to drive. So, we're going to be wrapping up here anyways. Wow, look at that. Perfect demonstration of what I was talking about earlier, of how we were going to see if Chucky was online and jump into an online server, and sometimes if he's online or whatever, he'll pop in whenever he comes online. If you just sit in a server a little bit, he's on now and again, so you never know. And there you have it. Perfect, clear as day example of it happening. Chucky joining in just as we were messing around in the server for a little bit just to see if anybody would join. Mainly with Chucky in mind because, well, Chucky's the one who plays this the most out of the friends we have. So, I mainly expect to see Chucky when I come on here because Chucky plays on here often. And we come on here now and again. We've been more CarX and RTHD and MWT oriented recently, and it's going to continue to be that way because those places are simply extremely more fun. I'm having a blast with RTHD. In fact, we're going to be moving back to RTHD later today and doing more recording there. We've changed maps in RTHD just last night. Just last night I made this decision. I started running the Road of the Dead map instead of the Lost Town map. And honestly, I like the map itself more for the hauling that we're doing. I can run heavy loads both ways. And we get paid 20 some thousand per run each way, running our heavy loads. And I ran a few good loads last night, and it was much better of a map to run in terms of terrain. It's more off-road like. It was definitely a rougher path, but it was much more flat ground based and far less incline based. So Lost Town is more smooth path, but very much so incline based when you go from the run we were running, where we were going from the bottom of the mountain at the station all the way up to the top of the mountain that we were running. That was much more incline based. This path is probably About as long as it's probably about twice as long a path. You probably could do one run in the same amount of time it takes you to do two runs of, or a run up and down of the full mountain would equate to one run, one direction of the new map. Because the Road of the Dead mountain is much larger, except you scale up the base of the mountain in a spiral, going up it gradually, and then coming down gradually. So it's much less incline based, and so our truck's actually able to pull our new trailer, which we hit level 25 just last night, uh, because of how massive the payout for XP and RT is. We hit level 25 last night. I wasn't expecting to. Um, so we got our new trailer, which is 24,000 kilograms or some shit like that. And we hauled that down, but we were able to haul roadblocks going up without any problems. So I don't see why. I know it's like an extra 5,000 pounds or some shit like that, but, or no, 7,000 pounds or some shit like that. But I know we're not going to have any problems. I was able to pull it up the roadblocks without even, I hardly touched four-wheel drive, and I wouldn't have needed to if I'd just taken a better line. But our truck doesn't struggle whatsoever to go up there. We just hold roughly 15 to 20 kilometers an hour in low 2, and or with our new rig, that is, and it rocks. It just hauls right up, no problem. So we will be doing a little bit of testing with the starter truck too, just to see what the starter truck would make for that map, because I am most likely going to change my recommendation of what I would recommend a starter player to do to running the Road of the Dead map, because it's simply more efficient. I wonder if you can run that in single player too. Probably. Um, the Road of the Dead map, just the pay is so good. The trail is much longer. You know, it's much more of a time consuming trail than the Lost Town map, but the pay makes it that time consumption worth it because it equals out and then some. Uh, so we're going to wrap up here. We'll get into that. When we come back, we'll probably get around to these three. These three. Um, because we were supposed to get around to those, I think, last week, and we didn't. So maybe tomorrow we might get around to doing these three rally builds. And then once we get these three built, I'm going to be selling the Lexus and the S13. I'll give my friends first bite at them. If none of them take it, then it'll go to the public. The FK8 we are going to be keeping for ourselves, and we're going to be engine swapping after the tune to run the engine that I want to run in there. But for now, and for the tune, the public tune, I am going to show the factory engine. I'm doing the factory engine for all of them. So yeah, we'll get into that next time. But I hope y'all enjoyed the bit we did here for now, and I will see you guys next time.